just earned yourself a detention, sir.
Me with you is already one big detention.
Son of a...
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Oscars. Trevor here, joined by Thomas as always, and we are talking about the Holdovers trailer. This is the latest film from Alexander Payne, who has some controversy that we'll talk about later when we talk about Oscars' chances for this film. But let's talk about this trailer. It just dropped, and it's expected to be a big Oscars player, potentially going to the Toronto International Film Festival. First though, just want to quickly address something with the SAG strike and WGA strikes, and people have talked about. Should internet content creators still be doing stuff? Should they still be talking about stuff from these studios? And we're going to keep on doing stuff. We aren't getting paid by studios. We aren't going to any screens or anything for promo. When we go to fall festivals and stuff later this year, I'll reassess and see what I'm doing with that if the strike is still going on. But for now, I think we're both comfortable still.
Yeah.
Talking about stuff because we aren't doing promo for these studios by talking about the films. We talk about them negatively. Sometimes we talk about them positively sometimes. So we're still fine with doing this as of now. We still feel comfortable with it. If you want to support the SAG and WGA members while they are on strike, I can leave some links in the description I'm going to, so that way you can donate. If you would like to show your support for them, I would strongly suggest doing so. But I got my union shirt on. My family is a union family. Dad's a union worker, so very much in support of it. But I feel comfortable still talking about this stuff as of now. And it's really important for the industry, and we'll continue to talk about the strike. And again, hopefully the writers and actors can get a deal that is amicable for them. And fuck studio executives. Okay,
sure. Yeah.
Now into the trailer. So, the Holdovers. We aren't always that positive. This doesn't look good.
I don't know. It does look different to what I thought it would be. I will say that immediately. It doesn't look like it's just going to be another The Greatest Beer on Ever Green Book type of thing. Sort of, people use the term Hallmark movie-esque type sort of thing. I don't think it looks like that. You've got that sort of weird, quite cheesy voiceover thing. The title sequence looks quite dated, but deliberately so. So I don't know if it is doing something different and sort of playing on these ideas. Yes, exactly. You say a pastiche of these sorts of films, then maybe I could get behind it. But I know it does also seem like it will just be one of those type of films where you've got the sentimental stuff at the end. It sort of hooks you in the emotion. There's a bit of sort of all-encompassing humor, which, any sorts of type of deliberately very Oscar-bait stuff can work for me if sort of handled right. I don't know if I completely trust Payne as a director to handle these things right.
It feels very contrived.
But yeah, exactly. It does feel a bit contrived. But still, it does look slightly more interesting than I imagined or I initially suspected.
Yeah, but the bars, though. I know that you're a bit of a Green Book defender.
Exactly.
I'm very much not. And the bar is on the floor. They're sure, it looks a little bit better than that. But is that really saying much? Again, it such a weird tone that it's going for, and just the visual style, it looked like it was shot on film, which is interesting. It was on 35 millimeter or something, and it just very, very aggressively 80s, and it feels like this is something that would have won Best Picture in 1987, but I don't know how well it will be received now. It's very, very aggressively targeting the older voter in the Academy. Not every movie has to be talked about in relationship to the Oscars. This really does feel like a movie that was made for awards. Let's be honest. And I've heard early word that this is going to the Toronto International Film Festival, which seems like the correct place for it. Probably hitting there and Telluride. We already know that Next Go Wins is going to be one of the big centerpieces there. And these are the types of crowd-pleasing movies that are going to do well. And I honestly think it will be one of those two films that wins People's Choice. And whichever one ends up taking it, I think that we have to seriously consider for a Best Picture nomination.
Probably. The alternative is that this film is just flat out bad, which I could also see
The Greatest Beer Ever.
happening. Exactly. So it could just be the sort of Oscar bait type thing that, gets a bit of buzz, but then when it comes out, it's just essentially a non-entity or a non-star. So I could see that sort of course happening for this film. I can see where it might get the nominations from. Giamatti does look like he will be sort of center. Yeah, exactly. And then you've also got things like the screenplay, which if it does seem to have this sort of snappy type of back and forth, which the Oscars do like. It seems like a very showy screenplay. based on what we got out of the trailer. So I
Now
could see that coming along
this
as well.
better not be Past Lives. I'm sorry. I know we're still
No.
like in July, but
Yeah.
like Past Lives is very much the clear, at least as of now. Again, in July, it's ahead.
Yeah.
It's better.
I mean, if this is safely in picture, though, I could see it start to creep up, especially if there is a sort of grand sort of passion for it. Interestingly, Divine Joy Randolph, who did receive like the majority, like people say, oh, if this film was actually happening, she would definitely come along with it. I'm not seeing that personally. Like,
at least on the trailer.
At least on the trailer. Like, maybe there's something about a character, I don't know, potentially that just opens it up and allows her to have this sort of Oscar moment. But yeah, from the trailer, I wasn't seeing much of her.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you say, like this just does seem like the type of thing that would have been a hit way back when. But potentially, if it is playing on these ideas, if it is tugging at the older voters, especially with you mentioned obviously at the top of the video the strikes. I think the strikes do and are going to really affect the awards race, especially with a film like this. So I don't think needs that sort of passion to build up in the same way. Like it just requires enough
buzz from festivals. Or
yeah, it just requires enough of the old academy, of this old sort of cohort, to have seen it and to have liked it, and they will just tick it off. So it doesn't necessarily need that marketing in the same way.
It looks like it could be one of those, they don't make them like they used to.
Exactly.
And that was with Top Gun Maverick. And it's not because of like how the film was made or anything like that. Like the fact that they're shooting this on film, at least I believe so, or like Top Gun Maverick with like the stunts or anything like that. It's purely just modernist storytelling. Right, like we're very much in an age of like lots of postmodernism and starting to phase into a lot of meta-modernism, and we don't get that much just classical modernist. You have the good guys, you have the emotional core, and it's just a very direct film that tells you what you're getting and then emotionally satisfies you by doing exactly what it's telling you it's going to do. And that type of classic modernist storytelling does resonate very strongly with the older contingent of the Academy.
Yeah, although I don't know if it is entirely just going to be a modernist thing. Like I do see elements in this trailer that it looks like they might be sort of picking on those elements and picking them apart a little.
Maybe.
I do have a bit more faith in it than just being this very, very straight.
I hope so. Like this trailer didn't.
No, I think this trailer did very much deliberately make it come across that way, where it is even doing the stuff where sort of a trailer will tell the whole story of a film, which sometimes these films often have a habit of doing. Like it seems like that was happening in this trailer a little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know to what extent it's playing on these elements or just conforming with them. I don't know. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see the film to find out.
I mean, because Payne he's a talented writer, so we'll see what he does with it.
Yeah.
But at least this trailer didn't do much for me. It really didn't, and we'll see what happens with the film. I've liked some of Payne's stuff. He's hit or miss with me, but we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. Also, with Alexander Payne, it's important to note that since his 2017 film Downsizing, there's been the Me Too movement in a lot stronger sense than it was prior to 2017.
Yeah,
and there are multiple, I believe, allegations against Alexander Payne of non-consensual sex with I think one of them was even like a minor, and like there's a bunch of stuff with that could end up being a problem.
Yeah, I mean the thing with these sorts of controversies, we never know until they do become a thing. So like, I mean, we looked at it last year, like a film like Amsterdam. David O. Russell, obviously entrenched in controversy, he is surrounded by it. But the film was also received negatively. So how much will that play into an account when the film was received positively and when people like actively want to nominate it?
So yeah, the allegations were made by Rose McGowan in a 2018 interview, and then it was brought back up, I believe, in 2020. And she said that you can read the interview, but she was 15 at the time when it happened. And again, it's all alleged. We don't know anything for sure, but it is just very important to note, and it will be interesting to see how the industry receives it. And as you said, with David O. Russell, we didn't really get to see what would happen if somebody in that position made a good movie, because that movie was
exactly
awful.
That movie was awful.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much that plays into it. But overall, I don't know. It just it looked fine, but I see how this could have a path for the Oscars, especially because of focus features.
Yeah, I mean, it's very much. I could see how this has a pass, but I could also see how it will just car crash completely. Like,
Oh
how
yeah,
it will
like
just be a complete failure.
I,
Like, it's
it
going one of the
screams
two
this had
ways.
Oscar buzz.
Yeah, like
Like,
it's going one of the two ways. I don't think it will come up and sort of just be a non-entity. I think it will either be negatively received or will have enough support from, as you say, this ultra contingent of voters that will just probably vote for something like this if they think, yeah, that was fun. I liked it. You know, it was a bit throwaway, but whatever. It gave you that sort of
it's very
sentimental
quickly going to become
Oscar
like the
feeling.
film Twitter villain.
Oh, 100%. Yes. Yeah.
Right.
There will also be, as much as there might be a contingent of the Academy that really love it and really go for it, I don't doubt that there will also be a contingent that just hate its guts and just really want to see it fail at every turn.
Yeah. So as far as awards, I mean, you're looking at original screenplay, which I think
Yeah.
could happen even as just a lone thing.
It would be a bit, that would be a bit strange. I don't
I think
really,
it could be like screenplay and Giamatti could happen, but no picture.
potentially.
I think
Yes,
that
I can see that. Yeah.
yeah, because like Giamatti could definitely happen, especially if this is classified under comedy for the Globes.
Yeah.
I could see it's kind of starting its path there and getting like screenplay and actor comedy and like all those types of things. Maybe Divine Joy Randolph, but I'm not really seeing it thus far. And then I don't think it would get director, even if
No,
it
it wouldn't get director, and text would be a bit like, I don't
Yeah.
know, unless it's like editing potentially, but that's always a sort of just throwaway thing,
because.
like just because.
Right.
Yeah, no, I don't think this will do amazingly at the Oscars, but it could get just enough to sort of scrape into picture, or it could be like one of those things that like being Ricardo is essentially there, where it gets some things above the line, but doesn't quite have that general enough support to actually get into Best Picture. So
I agree 100%. But those are our thoughts on the Holdovers trailer, and you know, a smattering of other things surrounding the film.
Yeah.
But we'll continue to talk about this film throughout the season. I mean, TIFF happens in what, 6 weeks?
Well, yes,
6-7 weeks right now. So like, that'll be, you know, very interesting to see how that's received. And also throughout Venice and TIFF, Venice starts August 30th, I believe, and TIFF ends September 17th. During that period, we'll be doing a video almost every single day, if not every single day. We're going to be, so like, if you were around for the Cannes days when we did video for like, you know, 10, 11 days straight, we're going to do the same thing throughout TIFF and Venice because they overlap. So stick around for that because that's going to be fun and a lot, but it'll be fun. So yeah, make sure that you're sticking around for that because it's gonna be a fun time and plenty of other things. We got Grammys, we got Emmys. It's obviously building up to the Oscars for this season, so lots of stuff. Barbenheimer weekend, good stuff. But that is all for now. So thank you everybody for watching. And again, you can check out our social media in the description as well as those links to donate to SAG and WGA if you so choose. But until next time. Thank you everybody for watching. Stay safe and goodbye.